Okay, we are back here in the town, or not in the town, but at the entrance path to the town, and it's nighttime, and we have this nice sugar cube, which the horse gave us a sugar cube. So this sugar cube does protect us. If we eat it now, I don't think it wears off. I think the sugar cube lasts forever. It lasts till the end of the game, so we can eat it now, but I'll go ahead and save it until we actually need it.
It looks like a normal sugar cube. It does have a bit of sparkle, though.
Okay. So, there is some stuff that we're supposed to do now, obviously, but let me just go ahead and take a few moments just to explore the land at night, because I'm kind of curious what this place looks like at night. Um, I'm not quite sure what's up with that mist effect. So you can, I don't know how well it shows up in the recording, but in the game, I can definitely see that the here at night the screen is constantly getting a little bit brighter and then a little bit dimmer. I think that's probably supposed to be mist, like there's supposed to be a mist blowing by, and it sort of changes the brightness of the scene a bit as the moonlight sort of glows through it. It's an interesting effect. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but it's actually it's quite noticeable once you notice it. So this is
The gates to town have been shut for the night.
yeah, this is the gateway to the town.
The gates are locked tight.
But unlike in the first Hero's Quest, aka Quest for Glory game, where you can just climb over the wall,
You cannot open the gates. They have been well secured from the other side. The walls are there to protect the citizens from the dangers of the forest. They would not be easy to climb.
yeah, here you can't climb the wall, and there's no point in trying really. So that's it. I think we're done here in the town. I think we won't see the inside of that town ever again. This haystack is still
It is
here.
likely that this haystack was piled.
Yeah,
There's nothing in the haystack. You don't need any hay, and the occupant probably does not wish to be disturbed.
is that person still there?
The haystack, or rather whoever or whatever is inside it, is no longer responsive to your inquiries.
Did they die? Did the sneezer die, or are they just asleep? Maybe. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so I think we're done here. I think we won't have any cause to come back here. Um, what we're actually supposed to do is go to the church, which is just one screen to the right from here, or to the east. But just before I go there, let me, like I said, I'll take a moment just to kind of look around and see how the different places look at night. See, for example, here are the pumpkins at night.
This pumpkin is
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll have more opportunity to explore these places later, but I just want to take a moment just to give you folks an impression of what it looks like now that it's nighttime. And by the way, Haggith's Cave does have the Batmobile Easter egg in this remake as well. I don't know how often it shows up. It did show up once for me while I was doing some play testing, but I don't know. It obviously doesn't show up very frequently, so I don't think that. Yeah, we're probably not likely to see it. But it's pretty much as in the original King's Quest 2. There's just suddenly a Batmobile driving in and out of the cave, and the Batman music plays. And this is the beach at night. Isn't it romantic? I think it's quite nice to be at the beach at night. Most people want to go to the beach during the daytime when it's sunny, which I can understand, but I think there's a certain romance, a certain beauty in being at the beach at night. Often it's not allowed. I was once at a beach at night, and a police officer actually drove up, like he was literally driving his police SUV on the sand of the beach, and he informed me that it's illegal to be on the beach after closing hours at night, and that there's a $250 fine for being on the beach at night. So I politely said, I understand, I'll leave, and he drove off, and I left, and he fortunately didn't have to pay the fine. He was nice enough to let me go without actually. Okay, anyway, so yeah, here's this house, and you can see the lights are on inside, so presumably there is somebody inside. We'll explore that house later. Right now, what we do want to do is go to the church, as I mentioned. So let's go ahead and here we go. Here we're back where we started. So let's go ahead and go to church. Yes, now the bell is ringing.
The church bell is tolling. You are not Laura Bow, so you do not need a bell.
All right, let's go inside.
Finding the door unlocked and unbarred, you enter the church.
So yeah, the church is... I guess it mostly looks like a fairly normal church. This gargoyle up here is a little gruesome.
A hideous statue of a grinning fiend forms an archway leading to the church's outdoor cemetery.
Yeah, there's a cemetery back there. I guess churches often do have these kinds of gargoyles, though.
There's no need to do that to the archway. Even a whisper sounds loud in here.
Let me just quickly see. There's a... yeah, there is a cemetery back here. We can't really do much here right now, I don't think.
It is likely that only the most devout believers have been buried in there.
Yeah.
Lester Williamson, 1300 to 1345. Here lies a man who feared all bugs, too scared to even lift his rugs. For if he had, he would have found insects that make little sound, with bites so deadly for their size that surely did cause his demise.
So this is basically like in King's Quest IV, where you have a cemetery, and you can read all the epitaphs on the cemetery, just as in King's Quest IV, and also as in Freddy Farkas.
Marlop Neven, 985 to 1015. The jester joked his life away until a quip he made one day insulted was a baron's son who had this poor old jester hung.
I'll tell you what, I don't really want to wait for the narrator to just read all these tombstones, so I'll do this. I'll just
905.
Click through them, and if you want to read them, you can pause the video.
Hamish Bite, 1226 to 12.
Because...
Coco Airboul, 1205 to... Coco Air... This is the church cemetery. Given this...
I already read that one.
Faith Cinders, Judas Morton, 1360. Bridget O. Troublewater, 1248 to 1299.
Okay, I think that some of these are obviously just puns and jokes, like that one, Bridget O. Troublewater.
Lyot O. Malif, 1200 to 1256.
In King's Quest IV, according to the King's Quest IV hint books, the epitaphs in the King's Quest IV cemetery are mostly real epitaphs, like actual epitaphs taken from real tombstones.
Larman Odnarb, 1175 to 1200.
Which is funny because...
Rebecca Twintle, 1250 to...
In my experience, gravestones usually just have the person's name. They'll usually have very little more than the person's name and the dates they lived. I very rarely see messages or poetry or anything like this on gravestones. Maybe this was a common thing in England in the medieval times, or maybe in older times, and maybe it's a modern thing to just have the name and the dates.
Goulash Thompson, 1370 to...
I don't know.
Charles Bucket, 1189 to 1232. In this dark hole lies one brave soul whose questing for glory has taken its toll.
Is the hero from Quest for Glory buried there? Okay, anyway, so we'll come back here later. But for now, our business is here in the main church room. So here, there's obviously a book here.
You notice a Bible on the end of a pew.
Yeah, it's a Bible, so let's go ahead and read the Bible.
You look over the Bible, which appears to be many decades old. You open it and find that an otherwise blank page at the front has been written on. It is dated over 20 years ago.
To all those who have heard the word, we are the chosen few, blessed by the spirits of the wild, destined for greatness, concealed by the cloth. There is but one challenge we must overcome before our future can be set in stone. The simple people of Kolyma cling still to the memory of their former ruler. Even now, years after his fate's dark turn, they retain their hope that he will not forsake them. As long as this is so, our goal cannot be attained. So, my brothers, it is our duty to see the land cleansed of its blight. Do not fear our enemy.
You return the Bible to where you found it. You also notice that a page from the Bible has fallen onto the floor.
Thanks for giving me time to finish reading that.
You pick up the fallen page and read it. The words appear to have been written recently. Seems every song ever sung waxes nostalgic with someone.
And what do you notice about the poem? I think it's pretty obvious.
You read the... Seems every song ever sung waxes nostalgic with someone.
It's basically that song about Was it about apricots or peaches or something? Some kind of fruit, I believe, in non-tonight, or how you pronounce that. I remember in King's Quest, not King's Quest, not King's Quest 3, Leisure Suit Larry 3, in the manual for Leisure Suit Larry 3, there's a song where every word of the song starts with either N, E, W, or S. Same idea. So yeah, that'll come in handy later. Okay, let's finish reading this thing from the Bible. So do not fear our enemy. Our faith, purpose, and power will guide us to the future we were promised. A path has been found to him, O brothers. Let him hear the warning howls. The cloth will be lifted for all time, and our songs will echo the end of him, his influence, and his family. Our time is at hand. Lo Wolf. Is this another anagram, or? I mean, it's kind of an anagram of howl wolf. Okay, I don't know what that's all about. Anyways, there's something here.
The collection box caters to those with money or valuables to show their support for the church.
Oh, thank you. I'll take some money and valuables from the box.
This collection box is for money and valuables. Its contents are to be removed only by the monks.
I guess Graham is too noble to take the stuff out of the collection box. Well, we don't need money anyway. I was just joking. I wouldn't actually steal from a church collection box, or at least I haven't yet.
Columns of pews line both sides of the church. You notice a Bible has...
Yeah, we already noticed the Bible. Okay.
The symbol of the faith is displayed prominently in the church.
I do notice that the game avoids making any references to actual names of Christianity. I mean, this is very obviously a Christian cross. It couldn't be anything else. And yet, instead of mentioning the name Christ or Christianity, it just says the faith. I guess that's
You have no inclination...
I guess that's a conscious decision, because outside the church, remember, it also said the cross is the symbol of the common religion, even though, I mean, it's obviously, it's not the common religion, it's Christianity. But okay, anyway, let's talk to
The monk is dressed in a simple ankle-length robe. A belt of thick leather is tied around his ample waist. He wears worn sandals.
Why are monks always portrayed as being fat? Because in reality, monks usually are not fat, but there is such a common stereotype that monks are lazy and just sit around all day and profit off the generosity of churchgoers and people who give money to the church. But it's not really true. If you look at monks, they're usually in pretty good shape because they have to do all their own work. All right, let's talk to...
It would not be prudent to touch a man of the cloth without his consent. The monk is in deep prayer and does not respond to your words.
I know that in English it's pronounced monk and not monk, but I just, for whatever reason, I always say monk instinctively. I've always said that. Monk. He's a monk. Yeah, I know it's a monk, but... Alright, well, as in the original King's Quest 2, I guess we won't get his attention until we start praying, so let's go ahead and pray at the altar.
Feeling humbled, you kneel down to pray. You rise again after a few moments. The monk stirs, stands, and turns to face you.
Okay, can we talk to him now?
Father, I go now to a place of darkness. While I am stout of heart, the path laid down before me is unclear. I seek only the knowledge that my passage be illuminated by heavenly favor, and a prayer that I may make it through.
The monk gives you a reassuring smile and pats you on the shoulder. He then lifts a silver cross from around his neck and places it in your hands.
Thank you.
You are welcome, my child.
You can talk?
Of course.
I thought monks were forbidden from speaking.
Not all churches follow the same rules, and this church is quite unique.
Really? How so?
The monk just smiles placidly at you.
I'm not an expert on monks, but I believe that's actually true. I think most monks are allowed to speak. There's only certain brotherhoods, or whatever you want to call them, that don't speak. But most of them, I think, can speak freely, and there's no prohibition against doing so.
About this crucifix.
I believe you will find the cross to be of immense value. It has come to us at a huge price.
It was expensive?
I mean that it has cost us more than any value to be in possession of it.
Okay. I think normally those crosses that you wear around your neck are just made of simple simple substances. They're normally not very expensive because, it's not bling. You don't wear the cross around your neck for bling, like bling bling, look at me homeboys, I'm a gangster Christian. But anyway.
If I may ask, why is it that you only open the church at dusk?
We find the late hours more favorable.
Well, surely then you would not have many in your congregation.
Yes, that is true.
What do you know of the Count?
Only that he is a heathen, a blasphemer. You serve God well by going there, my child. Bless you.
The monk smiles at you, turns back to the altar, kneels, and resumes his prayers.
So wait a minute. The Count is a blasphemer and whatever else, and we serve God well by going to the Count? Why does this guy know that we intend to kill the Count?
The monk is in deep prayer and does not respond to your words.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's all we can do here for now. So, is there a, we still can't go behind the church. Yeah, no, we have to go through the church to get to the cemetery in the back. Okay, that's fine. So...
Without warning, a pair of wolves dart out of the dark forest and dash towards you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
For a minute there, you thought those wolves were going to attack. Curious as to why they didn't, you decide to follow them.
Are you sure that's a good idea, Graham?
You see the monk standing alone outside the church. Then you notice the two wolves approaching him.
Notice also the red eyes.
You're about to yell a warning to the monk, but the words die in your throat as the man steps forward and pats the wolves' heads.
No, my brothers. We must not hurt him. Not yet. He will go to the heathen's abode. He will do what needs to be done. What if he does not? Then, my brothers, we will complete the task before us. The one we began many years ago.
You might want to think about an eyebrow waxing there, sir.
You quickly move away from the church, your heart racing faster with every step. You have a good idea now what will happen once the moon comes out in full, and you do not want to be anywhere near here when it does. One thing's for sure, you're not getting married in that church.
Come on, why not? Maybe the lady in the tower is into this somewhat gothic, quote, gothic unquote element. Oh, see, now it's peaceful. I like these red eyes that sometimes pop up back here. You can kind of, yeah, see?
Trees seemingly...
Can I look at them, or... The game probably doesn't...
Trees...
Yeah, okay. Okay, so... Let's go ahead and save the game here. So, you might have gotten the idea that there's something a bit unusual about that priest, and yeah, I guess that's probably the case. But we might find out a little bit more about that later. Right now, what we should probably do is, let's see, let's go ahead and, oh, this is, I guess there's somebody home here as well, because there's smoke coming out of the chimney. Let's go ahead and check out this house. We couldn't come into the house during the day because remember there was the sound of labored breathing. Maybe we can come in now.
Oh, sir, have you seen my little granddaughter? She ventured to the town to buy food for me, but has not yet returned. I fear she may be in peril. The forest is not safe at night.
Okay. All right. So we need to. I guess we need to find Possum, the little Red Riding Hood girl, and we can't. I don't think we can go back and.
The sturdy construction resists your efforts to push it over.
I didn't want to push the house over.
Perhaps you should try locating the elderly woman's granddaughter before venturing back into the house.
Right. So we can't actually go back into the house until we find Possum. Okay, I'll go ahead and save here again. Can't type grandma. Gmo. Briefly met Gmo. I think that's the cool, hip, gangsta way to say grandma for a cool, blingy, hip gangsta like Graham with that cross around his neck. Actually, we didn't put the cross on, did we?
You place the silver cross and chain around your neck and wear it as a necklace.
Okay. Well, I guess we don't need to wear it now. Can I take it off again?
You remove the cross from around your neck.
Yeah, we can. Okay. I'll go ahead and go without it for now. We can always put it on later when we need it. So, I guess that's it. This has been a continuation of King's Quest II. And by the way, you might think we're getting close to the end of the game. If you've played the original King's Quest II, you might be getting the impression that we're close to the end, because in the original game, of course, at this point, all you really had to do was go to the poisoned lake, get across the lake, which doesn't take very long, and then go into the castle and get the key. You don't spend that much time in the castle. In this remake, we still have a lot of stuff ahead of us. We really, I would say we're only about halfway through the game at this point, honestly. Maybe a little bit more than halfway, but not by much. There's still really a lot of adventuring, a lot of story left to go through. So, which is not bad. I mean, I actually, I quite like. I do quite like what they've done with the story of the Count. In the original King's Quest II, the story of Count Dracula was very underdeveloped. I mean, all you really did with him was just drive a stake into his heart. You would just open his coffin and kill him, and that was it. That was Dracula. But in this game, he has a much more developed backstory, and I actually like it. I actually quite like what they did with his story. And in fact, it was the story of Dracula. It is what they've done with this section of the game and this segment of the story that really drove me to want to play this game again, because I actually really like what they've done with this part of the story. It'll get a little creepy. Those of you who are easily creeped out, this is where the game starts to get a little bit beyond like PG level, as you saw already with the priest and the wolves. It's starting to get a little more macabre, but I don't think we ever really seriously go into horror game territory. It's just going to be a little creepier than what we've witnessed so far. So, but and I don't really like creepy stuff most of the time, but I do like what they've done with the story. So I'm looking forward to experiencing it and telling you all how the story continues. So I hope that you'll join me for future episodes of this Let's Play. Again, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that you're all doing well, and hopefully we will talk to each other later. Ta-ta for now.